Hello, everyone. Um, let's just get into it. Let's see what the story is about. I didn't really read it, but it looks interesting just based on the pictures. Straight stiletto strutting influencer clarifies his homophobic comments in an almost apology. Okay. I hope to God that his comments were actually homophobic because people like to throw around words. High heel devotee Mark Bryan built a modeling career being business up top and stunty down below. Stunty? Never heard that word. In a recent interview, he made it clear that the skirt and stiletto style was just for show. Obviously. I mean, you look ridiculous going out in public like that. That's crazy. Bryan recently chatted with Queer Eye Germany. Huh. I didn't know Queer Eye had whole branches that went out to Germany. Trans beauty guru Avi Jacobs for her mini series Beyond Fashion. She started out excited to meet him, but things quickly took a turn after he clarified that he's not advocating for queer rights or visibility at all. Okay, I don't really think that I'm fighting with you, he stated. I'm not fighting against you either. That's not homophobic. Pretty clear. He's just saying I'm not making a statement about sexuality or in any way. If you thought that you were excited to see me because I'm somehow some queer or gay icon, then I'm not that guy. That seems what he's trying to say to me, but I guess I could be wrong. Tevin, I always knew them ugly skirts hid something demonic. What? Why is that demonic? And the skirts aren't ugly. I mean, it's just crazy. Um, okay, let's. I want an explanation of why it's demonic. Comments like they've made it. Is this a typo? They've made it difficult for themselves just being more flamboyant, and they made it worse for me being straight because now I'm assumed to be gay. All right. From that, I interpret that he's saying uh, they've made it like the gay and queer community made it difficult for themselves by being more flamboyant. Exactly. Because uh, I would say flamboyantness or flamboyant behavior is attention seeking behavior. And attention seeking behavior can make things more difficult for yourself depending on what you're trying to do because it draws attention, and drawing attention is not necessarily going to draw the positive attention only. There's always going to be negative attention with that as well. And it also has the unfortunate side effect of creating stereotypes. Stereotypes come from certain behaviors that draws more attentions than others, and especially if it's repeated over with many different people. And if it's a certain minority group of people where people don't interact with on a regular basis, where they can see the sort of variety of certain behaviors, if they only see a certain group of people in a certain light at a certain time, and it's a certain a behavior that they're doing that draws more attention, then every time they see that race or creed or sexuality or people, then they're just going to go off what they've always seen, and then it becomes a stereotype. So I understand how what he's saying right here, how that could make it more difficult for them, and that is not in any way homophobic. They made it worse for me being straight because now I'm soon to be gay. Exactly, just seeing him wearing those dresses and all that stuff, doing all of that. It makes if he was trying to make it a thing where it's just like um he doesn't want it to be associated with his sexuality. He's trying to make a point beyond the sexuality because he's as a straight man. The assumption could interrupt whatever message he's trying to get across. So I don't understand why he would say this as well. It doesn't seem to me like he's preaching some sort of hatred or fear or whatever. But I mean, hopefully this story somehow gets to a point where they explain why this is demonic or homophobic, because I don't get it quite yet. Now, the model has taken to his Instagram story to clarify his statements. Mostly, he apologized for phrasing rather than sentiments. Well, none of you have explained why his sentiments was off. I understand what I said is misleading, maybe not, maybe not have been the best choice of words. May not have been the best choice of words. And for that, I'm really sorry that it came out wrong. That was not my intention. All right. Addressing his comment, he said that he wanted to be seen separately from the queer community, as I thought, with the statement. That was what I wanted to express, but I did poorly by words that was chosen. Not really. It's more like you said it in a way that people who are willing to take offense will take offense. They're seeing you trying to differentiate yourself from a certain image as you being repulsed or having some sort of hatred by that for that image, which you would think would be clarified in his first statement where he said, "I'm not with you, I'm not fighting with you, nor am I against you." That should set the tone for what he's saying here, but nuances don't matter with certain people. All right. Okay, words are chosen. Jesus Christ, man, what is this nonsense? These are getting ready for fall. Pumps. Okay. Okay, so he's trying to sell the pumps, I guess. Jesus Christ. All right. I guess I see his point. Maybe he's pretty much trying to sell the shoes, right? And he's pretty much just modeling the shoes. That's why he has the dress in the bottom and the shoes in the bottom to sort of emphasize the look that it goes with. But on the top, he's just showing that, up here, this down here is just work. This up here is who I really am. I'm not really, you know what I mean? So I get it now. I get what's going on here. He's pretty much just modeling the footwear and whatever. But up here is just like, this is just my work stuff. This is how I am normally. So he's showing his sexuality up here, where he's just like, I'm a straight man, just doing a job, and this is the job down here. Yeah, that's what I'm reading into it. As much as he laments his word choice, he seems he does stand by some of the views he expressed. What views are you talking about? Among them are his belief that the queer community does, in fact, make things harder for him. Yeah. Why would it not? It makes perfect sense that it would make things harder for him. Some in the LGBTQ plus community choose to use fashion as a way to express their sexuality, he states, which is true. It's not a bigoted thing to say. It is true. When I said that they made it harder for me, I was referring to the fact that sometimes I feel like it's harder to make my point with my message that fashion should not define your sexuality. Makes perfect sense to me. That's kind of what I thought, but I didn't think his message was that fashion should not define your sexuality, which is a weird thing to say, because fashion is made pretty much for humans, and a big part of humanity is our sexuality. So, and especially if it's used to peacock or attract the opposite sex, then it does express your sexuality immensely. So I don't know what's the point of this message that he's trying to get across, or what's the end goal there. Because there's plenty of fashion that doesn't express sexuality and is never used in that way. Like I would say a hat. Most hats aren't used to express sexuality in any way, but there are certain hats that are gendered in a way where it's more flamboyant, and ladies wear that. But I don't get the point of that message. Why would you go through this trouble to make that message? Are you just trying to justify your work? Really? It should just be that you're doing this to model. You see, because he's just modeling the freaking shoes or whatever. He's just modeling the shoes. He's a model. He's modeling the shoes. So that's why he's doing all this. Why is he trying to do a message along with it? That's just stupid. Just do your job. I mean, it's shocking and attention grabbing where freaking an old rubber glove face old man is wearing a dress and these heels. So it grabs attention, and it points attention to the heels, and the ladies can see themselves wearing that and look definitely better than this dude, hopefully, in the dress. So I get why he's doing it and why the job works for him. But this whole thing about freaking trying to send a message, it's unnecessary, sir. It seems he also still sees some people as acting too outrageous and too flamboyant for their own good. Yes, a lot of people do that. It's not helpful to be that way. Certain behaviors are outrageous and flamboyant behavior is tolerated in, let's say, children and certain things like that, because they're more carefree and they don't care about their image and something like that. But as an adult, there are certain behaviors that are prohibited. Outrageous and flamboyant behavior is a little bit prohibited as an adult, because flamboyant behavior doesn't engender respect from other people. They don't take you seriously. If you want to be taken seriously and you want people to respect what you have to say, you don't want to be flamboyant. That's just silly. And being flamboyant is not an expression of your sexuality. That is an expression of your personality. So it's not the kind of personality that would engender respect and people taking you seriously. And outrageous behavior is always frowned upon, especially in adults. So those aren't good things. So he's making a good point. The other topic was how it can be that I get less hate compared to LGBT plus community, and why I think that is. My reply was that certain people might just be triggered into violence. This was not my opinion and how I personally feel. That's true. Certain people are triggered into violence. That's why we have criminals, and we've always had criminals, and we've always had criminal behavior and violent people throughout history. It's not a new thing, and it's definitely not something that you can just dissuade by telling people not to be like that, because they created laws which dissuade that, and it's never happened. So he is right in this right here. Despite these views, he holds his style and presentation as evidence that he couldn't possibly be homophobic. Well, he hasn't shown to be homophobic in any of his comments. I mean, he's speaking openly and honestly about a topic, and he's not showing hate. He's actually explaining his reasoning and his thinking about the process, and it's not. It doesn't show any sort of bigotry or hatred. Otherwise, he would just say, this is stupid, or he would show his hate or his bigotry through his words, and he's not doing that. He's showing his reasoning and his understanding about the subject that he's speaking about. So you have to prove what you're saying. You can't just say things just because. I'm not homophobic. Why would someone homophobic wear a skirt and high heels? To me, that just doesn't make much sense. Exactly. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? The Potbelly too. This guy. While in Nuremberg, the hell is Nuremberg? Oh, is that Germany? Okay. Even with this riff now created between him and the queer community. He says he won't be hanging up the heels anytime soon. I'm not going to give up wearing heels. I'm not going to give up wearing skirts, he says. I'm not going to stop giving the message that clothes do not dictate your sexual orientation or gender. Why are you trying to push that message? It doesn't make sense. What is the ultimate goal of getting that message across? Say you succeed in getting that message across. Then what? What happens? What are you hoping to accomplish during that? That people accept you wearing heels and dresses? People already accept people wearing heels and dresses, and you apparently don't like being compared to them. So you want people to now change their opinion on that behavior away from it being something that is popularized by either a trans or queer or gay men. You want it to now mean that, oh, you can also be straight and do this? Like, it doesn't make sense. People aren't going to spend the time to get to know you, and if they did, they would know that you're a straight man. And if they don't give a shit. They'll just see you wearing that and be like, oh, okay, he goes this way. Like, people don't care that much. And if you get this message across, it's not going to change that knee-jerk reaction, because no one wants to get to know you, get to know a random stranger that's just wearing weird shit for attention. This freaking guy. He's kind of dumb, but he's not whatever this article is claiming he is. So we'll call it a day on that one. That was awfully strange. I didn't realize that that's what I was going to get from that, but judging from the pictures, I assumed it was going to be something crazy. But till next time.